6, scholarship workshops. That's another thing. At Youth Empowerment School, they have been doing, this is the 3rd year that the peer leaders, and it's starting to trickle down because the peer leaders will work with the seniors and then they'll work with the juniors. What they'll do is the peer leaders get all, they ask us for scholarships, like access to list of scholarships. So the scholarship guide that Leora created this year gave that to them. They print out scholarships that fit for their senior class. And they made a list of like, okay, each kid had to take 3 of those scholarships. They track each other. So the peer leaders do a little cohort thing where the peer leaders get 3 kids, and during advisory, they have to walk those 3 kids through picking a scholarship, completing, like writing up the scholarship, completing and submitting it. And then as a cohort, they get a passing grade for that particular group of scholarships that they move forward through. And that was actually was not my idea. That was our peer leader of the year last year, Mariana Ballesteros. She came up with that and created it. It was insane. Like young lady's going to be a powerhouse in 10 years. But that's something you can do with your peer leaders as well. Leading class lessons in some of your schools. Peer leaders actually do lead class lessons. Again, this might be a little bit more time intensive because again, they're going to need help figuring out which lessons to do, kind of what is the process of walking a class through a lesson. They're going to need support in the classroom if students are getting a little rowdy or not really paying attention. When I've seen it happen, they're pretty good about monitoring each other, but they might need a little bit of help. But again, this is one that's going to need a strong adult ally to sort of help them through that process of leading an actual lesson. And you can use, the schools that I've seen it done, you don't have to write it for your kids, you can just take it right out of the Navigator and use pieces of the Navigator lesson for them to do. And then peer-to-peer support. So this peer-to-peer support is really simple. It can look like all kinds of things from a simple panel, putting your peer leaders on a panel and have them talk to freshmen and have them have a simple conversation of I'm a senior now, when I was a freshman, I wish I had done this. Or, same thing with juniors of like, okay, meet with juniors. Of like, when I was a junior, because right now, particularly seniors are starting to feel the crunch. And they know, they're like, man, I should have done this last year. I should have done this time. And that's a good conversation for them to say to juniors in particular. We can say it all day long, until we're blue in the face. And some of them here, many of them don't until you've said it like 800 times. It also is at Oakland School for the Arts, they did a cohort program for the year in which they adopted 3 kids, 2 to 3 kids, each peer leader adopted 2 to 3 kids, and they then just did check-ins with them. So we created a checklist, a senior year checklist, and they wouldn't have to, because senior year is crazy in and of itself, they would not have to do the work with the student. And there was a lot of coaching that I had to do with them, like, you don't have to sit there and write a personal statement with your cohort. You don't have time for that. You're just reminding them, is your personal statement done? This is when it's due. Or do you need to work on your application? This is when it's due. And you guys, a lot of this, like you guys have really great ideas. So if you are in a small group that's going to be talking about peer leader engagement, I really encourage you to talk to each other about the different things that you're doing. So left the last 2 open because, like I just said, you guys have great ideas. So can someone throw something out?